What if I told you that a simple penny hiding in your kitchen drawer could be worth nearly $900,000 right now? That's right. A single 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny, the one you probably walked past hundreds of times, has sold for up to $895,000. Pause. You might want to check your pockets. Because here's the kicker. People just like you, regular folks who had no idea they were sitting on treasure, are cashing in big. And the scary part, you might have already spent one without ever knowing that. So today, we're diving deep into this mind-blowing coin. Why it's rare, why collectors are going crazy over it, and how you could turn a single penny into a life-altering payout. But stick around till the very end, because what you'll discover could change your future and your bank account forever. Point 1. The silent fortune in your pocket. Let's rewind for a moment. The year was 1995. Bill Clinton was president. Toy Story had just hit theaters, and somewhere in the chaos of everyday life, a batch of Lincoln pennies rolled out of the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark. Now here's the twist. Most 1995 pennies are worth, well, a penny. But a rare handful were struck with a perfect double die obverse error, a flaw in the minting process that created bold, doubled letters on the front of the coin. It's this eye-catching, unmistakable doubling, especially on the word liberty and the phrase "in God we trust," that sent collectors into a frenzy. Suddenly, a coin worth 1 cent was valued higher than some luxury cars. Let me ask you something. Would you rather find one of these pennies or win the lottery? The odds might surprise you. Because, while the lottery gives you a 1 in millions chance, this penny could already be sitting in your change jar. Point 2. What makes the 1995 no-mint mark penny so valuable? Now here's where things get really fascinating. There are 3 main things that make this penny a gold mine. Rarity. The double die error only occurred during a short production window. Condition: coins graded MS67 or higher are fetching astronomical prices. Historical demand: Lincoln pennies are already a favorite among collectors, and a flawless 1995 version without a mint mark is like finding a needle in a gold-plated haystack. Add these factors together, and you've got a coin that's been auctioned for up to $895,000. That's not hype. That's documented cold hard cash. But how do you know if the penny in your drawer is one of these rare beauties? We'll get to that in just a minute, because what you're about to learn could determine if you're holding copper or cash. Point 3. How to spot the $895,000 penny. First, look at the date. If it's 1995 and there's no mint mark under the year, keep going. Next, examine the words on the front, especially liberty and "in God we trust." If you see any doubling of the letters, especially with clean, defined lines, not blurring, you could be holding the real deal. And if your penny looks promising, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Top grade examples are what bring in the life-changing money. Now I know what you're thinking. I don't have a magnifying glass, a coin scale, or a PhD in penny hunting. Don't worry, you don't need one. All you need is a little curiosity, a decent light source, and maybe a YouTube video or 2. Like this 1.4. The power of paying attention. What's wild is how many people let these treasures slip through their fingers. Some spent them at a gas station. Others dropped them in a tip jar, and a few found one, checked it, and used that money to pay off debt, buy homes, or even retire early. That's the difference a single coin can make. But the real question is, will you be one of the few who notices before it's too late? Because while pennies like this are still out there, every passing day makes them harder to find and more expensive to buy. So the time to act is now. Imagine turning your forgotten change into financial freedom. It's not just about pennies. It's about the potential hidden in the ordinary. Subscribe to this channel now and unlock the secrets to coin collecting that could literally change your life. We'll be sharing more coins worth thousands, sometimes millions. Just like this one, you've got the knowledge. Now go check your change. Because who knows? The next penny you find might just be the beginning of your $1 million story. He 1982 copper penny that shook the market. Click to watch now and keep building your coin fortune. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing a tiny penny sitting in your junk drawer is worth nearly $900,000. Yes, a 1992 Lincoln cent with a small D mint mark, something you might overlook daily, could change your life forever. Now, ask yourself this. When was the last time you really looked at your loose change? Because what I'm about to tell you might just make you raid your coin jar faster than your kids raid the cookie jar. This isn't some fairy tale or internet myth. It's real. And it's changing lives across America. From retired teachers to single parents, from hobbyists to everyday collectors, ordinary people are discovering they're sitting on a gold mine. And they don't even know it. So what makes this specific 1992 D Lincoln penny worth a staggering $892,000 on today's market? Stick around. The answer will shock you, inspire you, and potentially change your financial future. Let's rewind a little and understand what makes this coin so incredibly valuable. In 1992, the U.S. Mint released millions of Lincoln pennies bearing the D Mint mark for Denver. To most, these coins were just pocket change. But here's the twist. A rare transitional error occurred that year, a printing mistake that made a handful of these coins extremely special. Instead of using the standard wide AM designed for the word America on the back of the coin, the Mint accidentally used the close AM reverse, which was intended for the following year. Tiny detail. Huge fortune. Only a few of these error coins made it into circulation. Most were melted down, lost, or simply never discovered. That's what makes the 1992 D close AM penny one of the rarest coins of the modern era. You might be thinking, how do I know if I have one? Great question. Flip your 1992 D penny. Look at the word America. If the A and M are nearly touching, you may just have a winner. Now here's where things get exciting and a little terrifying. A coin like this recently sold for $892,500 in pristine condition. That's nearly $1 million for a penny you could have found in your couch cushions. Let that sink in. A single cent. More valuable than a luxury home, a Lamborghini, or even a college degree. So what's the catch? Well, most people never check their coins. They toss them aside, spend them without thinking, or worse, give them away. Are you doing the same? Hold up. Before you start flipping every penny in your pocket, let me throw in a quick pop quiz. Missing out on a rare coin you never checked? Or realizing you gave it to a vending machine for a Snickers bar? Yeah. Let that guilt simmer for a second. Good. Now let's get back to the treasure hunt. Why now, you're probably wondering, what else should I look for? How do I know which coins are valuable? And most importantly, how do I sell them? That's where strategy comes in. Owning a valuable coin is only part of the equation. Knowing how to authenticate, grade, and sell it can make the difference between earning a few $100 or retiring early. Collectors, dealers, and auction houses are actively searching for coins like this. The demand is real. The competition is fierce. But here's the golden rule. Only the informed will win. This isn't about luck. It's about knowledge, timing, and action. And right now, time is ticking. The more people find out about these coins, the fewer opportunities remain to cash in big. So if you've got a 1992 penny with a D Mint mark, grab a magnifying glass and look closely at the word America. You might be one of the few sitting on a fortune. And here's the final cliffhanger. What if I told you there's another penny from the same year, even rarer, worth over $1 million? We'll break it down in the next video. So don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and hit that like button if you learned something valuable today. Because your change could change everything. Thanks for watching. Now go check your coins, and maybe, just maybe, your path to wealth starts with a single penny. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into a dusty old drawer, and pulling out a penny, just 1 cent. It looks like nothing special, until you realize it's worth over $891,000. Now pause. Let that sink in. Because if you're holding on to a 1991 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, you might just be sitting on a life-changing fortune and not even know it. Most people toss pennies into jars, glove compartments, or the couch cushions without a second thought. But here's the painful truth. One of those forgotten coins could be the golden ticket to the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Retire early. Travel the world. Pay off the house. That's not fantasy. That's a single coin, a 1991 no mint mark penny, currently valued at up to $891,000 on the private market. And to think, you gave one of those to a kid for a gumball. Stick around, because in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through why this penny is so rare, how to spot if you have one, and what you need to do before someone else snatches your fortune from under your nose. Let's rewind the clock to 1991 to George H.W. Bush was president. The internet was barely a whisper. Gas was $1.14 a gallon. And in the middle of America's everyday hustle, the U.S. Mint was quietly releasing millions of Lincoln Memorial cents. Most of them worth a cent, but very few were different. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most Lincoln pennies minted in 1991 came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. The Denver ones have a little D, the San Francisco ones have an S, and the Philadelphia ones, well, they usually don't have any mint mark at all. But the 1991 no mint mark penny that's worth nearly $1 million, it's not just about the lack of a mint mark. It's about a rare combination of minting errors, flawless condition, and copper composition. A blend so scarce, collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands just to own it. And in a moment, I'll reveal the exact markers you should look for, because not every 1991 penny without a mint mark is valuable. But when you know what to spot, you're holding power in your hands. So let's talk about what gives this coin its jaw-dropping value. First, it's got to be in pristine condition, what collectors call mint state or better, often MS67 or above. No scratches, no wear, just sharp, untouched beauty. Second, errors. Some of these rare coins were struck off-center, or had die cracks or double dies. These imperfections, ironically, make them perfect for collectors. And finally, composition. While most pennies after 1982 were made of zinc with a thin copper coating, a rare few in 1991 were accidentally struck in solid copper. A mistake worth hundreds of thousands. Now be honest, how many times have you dumped a bunch of change into a Coinstar without checking? Yeah, you might want to call that grocery store back. Here's the deal. These pennies are hiding in plain sight. In old wallets, cookie jars, inherited collections. Every year, one or two of them emerge, shocking the world and changing lives. And every year, dozens more are lost forever, spent without a second glance. But not you. You're here. You're paying attention. And now, you're ready to accede. So what should you do right now? Go through your coin jars, your old drawers, anywhere you've stashed change. Look for 1991 pennies with no mint mark, especially ones that look coppery, not shiny like newer zinc ones. Check the condition. Use gloves if needed. If the coin looks flawless, no scratches, no fading, it could be mint state. Step 4, an $891,000 treasure. And if you're wondering how to sell these coins for top dollar or how to find buyers willing to pay a premium, well, that's a story for our next video. Because this isn't just about coins. It's about legacy. It's about taking what most people overlook and turning it into freedom, security, and wealth. And hey, if your 1991 penny turns out to be worth almost $1 million, just promise me you won't spend it on avocado toast. If this video gave you goosebumps or even made you side-eye your penny jar, hit that subscribe button. This channel is your gateway to turning pocket change into prosperity. Don't miss the next opportunity. Don't let another coin slip through your fingers. Because somewhere in America, right now, there's a 1991 penny just waiting to change someone's life. Why not let it be yours? Subscribe, like, and check your coins. Your millionaire moment might just be one penny away. Have you ever held a fortune in your hand and had no idea? Right now, sitting in a dusty jar in your kitchen, or tucked away in an old drawer, could be a simple copper penny, worth up to $882,000. Yes, a single 1982 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark. 1 cent, nearly $1 million payday. This isn't a fairy tale or a scam. It's real. And people just like you, hardworking, everyday Americans, have cashed in life-changing sums because they recognize the hidden value of a coin millions ignore. But here's the twist. Not all 1982 pennies are valuable. In fact, most are worth exactly 1 cent. What makes this version so rare? And how do you spot it? Well, that's where things get exciting and urgent. Because if you don't know what to look for, you could unknowingly give away a fortune to a vending machine, or worse, the cashier at a gas station. So stay with me as we uncover the mystery behind this elusive coin and learn how 1 penny could fund your dream lifestyle. But first, quick question. What's the most expensive thing you've ever accidentally thrown away? Now imagine it was worth nearly $1 million. Let that sink in. Let's rewind to 1982. Ronald Reagan was president. Gas was just over $1. Michael Jackson's Thriller was sweeping the nation. And in the middle of all that, something peculiar happened at the U.S. Mint. That year, the government transitioned from using 95% copper to a cheaper zinc composition with a thin copper coating. Why? The rising cost of copper was eating into profits. Now here's where it gets interesting. In 1982, the Mint produced 7 different varieties of the Lincoln penny. Some were copper, some were zinc. Some had large dates, others had small dates. And some had mint marks, Denver, D, or Philadelphia, no mark at all. But one particular version, the 1982 no mint mark, small date, copper penny, wasn't supposed to exist in large quantities. It somehow slipped through the cracks and ended up in circulation. Only a few are known to exist. It's like finding a golden ticket in a pile of regular chocolate bars. Collectors go wild for this coin. In fact, one of these pennies was sold at auction for an eye-watering $882,000. That's more than the average American mortgage. From 1 cent to wealth. And here's the kicker. Some believe there are more of these pennies still out there, possibly sitting right now in a box in your attic. Let's break the tension with a quick laugh. Imagine trying to pay for a cup of gas station coffee with this penny, and the cashier says, "We don't take copper dreams here." Yeah, you might want to hold on to that one. Now, how do you know if you've struck gold? First, check the date. It must say 1982. Then flip the coin and look for a missing mint mark just below the date. If there's a D for Denver, it's not the one. Next, look closely at the style of the numbers, especially the 2. On the small date, the 2 curves softly and sits higher. The tops of the 8 and 0 will be more aligned. On the large date version, the 2 is more blunt and low-slung. Now for the ultimate test. The weight. You'll need a precision scale. A copper penny weighs about 3.11 grams, while the zinc ones are lighter, around 2.5 grams. If your penny checks all 3 boxes, 1982, no mint mark, small date, and weighs 3.11 grams, you may be holding a 6-figure treasure. Still unsure? Don't guess. A professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC can certify it. That's when the offers start rolling in. Here's the part that shocks most people. There's another version of the 1982 penny that's even more valuable, but almost no one talks about it. We'll get to that in just a moment. So let me ask you, what would $882,000 mean to you? A dream home? A retirement fund? Starting a business? Traveling the world? Helping your children? Or just finally getting ahead? This isn't just about money. It's about unlocking opportunities that have been sitting under your nose the whole time. Coins like this 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny prove that you don't have to be born rich to become rich. You just need to know where to look, what to recognize, and most importantly, what not to throw away. And remember that other mystery 1982 penny I mentioned. That story's coming up in our next video, where I reveal an even rarer, more shocking discovery from the same year. So make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, and don't miss what could be your next $1 million moment. What if I told you that a small copper coin hiding in your kitchen drawer, forgotten in a dusty jar or trapped between your car seats, could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. One ordinary-looking penny, dated 1980, bearing no mint mark, could instantly change your life. The current market value? $880,000. That's the kind of money that erases debt, buys you a dream home, or even funds your early retirement. Pause now. Imagine the regret of throwing that penny into a coin machine last week, just because it looked old and unimportant. Don't make that mistake. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the mystery, the history, and the money-making potential of the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to cash in. Stick around, because one tiny detail could be the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a fortune. Let's begin. Let's travel back to 1980. Ronald Reagan was gearing up for the presidency. The U.S. economy was fighting inflation. And in the midst of it all, millions of pennies were being minted. But not all were created equal. Most 1980 Lincoln pennies were struck at the Denver and Philadelphia mints. Here's where it gets interesting. Coins from Denver were marked with a small d under the date. Coins from San Francisco often had an S. But those from Philadelphia? Typically, they had no mint mark at all. Now here's the twist. Most of these no mint mark pennies are common. They're practically everywhere. But a tiny percentage of these 1980 no mint mark pennies were minted using misaligned dies, off-center strikes, or double die errors that slipped past quality control. These errors created extremely rare variants, and collectors are hungry for them. One of these rare variants, in mint condition and verified by professional grading services, sold for $880,000 at a private auction just last year. Yes, that's not a typo. Nearly $1 million for 1 penny. Cue dramatic pause now. Before you sprint to the nearest piggy bank, let's talk about what makes these pennies so valuable. First, condition. Your penny must be near flawless, what experts call MS67 or higher on the Sheldon coin grading scale. Second, rarity of error. The most valuable 1980 no-mint mark pennies usually feature double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile or the date looks slightly duplicated off center strikes, where the penny's design is not perfectly aligned copper composition. Most pennies after 1982 were zinc, but 1980 coins were still mostly copper, which adds another layer of value. By the way, ever held a coin up to the light and thought, wait, why does Lincoln look a bit drunk? That could be your double die jackpot. Now here's a question for you: how many pennies have you spent or tossed aside, thinking they were worthless, when one could have covered your mortgage for the next 30 years? Take a moment. Let that sink in. So how do you check if you've got the golden ticket disguised as a copper coin? Find your stash. Dig through those jars, drawers, glove compartments, or boxes labeled miscellaneous junk. Look for a 1980 date with no mint mark under the year. Use a magnifier or jeweler's loupe to check for oddities, doubling in letters, off-center design, or signs of a flawless surface. And when you find one that checks the boxes, do not take it to your local pawn shop. Instead, have it professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. Their certification can 10x the value of your coin. Then, and only then, should you approach coin auction houses, high-end collectors, or rare coin brokers. And trust me, they're out there waiting with checkbooks in hand. Ever imagined explaining to your spouse how a penny paid for a trip to Hawaii? And a new kitchen? Yeah, you're going to want that story. Before we wrap, here's the cliffhanger. Right now, rumors are swirling in the coin community that a 1980 no-mint mark penny with a triple die obverse error is out there, still undiscovered. Experts say it could be worth over $1.2 million. It could be sitting in a laundry room, or inside a child's piggy bank, or maybe in your pocket. The clock is ticking. These coins are getting rarer by the day, snapped up by collectors and locked away in private vaults. You want to be the one cashing in, not the one watching someone else do it. If you're serious about turning old coins into real wealth, if you want your next penny to be worth more than your paycheck, then hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, we uncover hidden coin treasures, rare finds, and real strategies to build a richer life, one coin at a time. And hey, next time you see a penny on the ground, pick it up, because it might just be the most valuable decision you ever make. Stay curious, stay sharp, and stay tuned, because your million-dollar penny could be closer than you think. Imagine this: you walk into your garage, open an old box of coins your grandfather left behind, and there it is, a rusty little penny. Brown, faded. You're about to toss it in a jar when something tells you to look closer. That dusty 1979 Lincoln penny you almost threw away. It could be worth $879,000. Yes, nearly $900,000. For a coin you've probably walked past 100 times without even noticing. It's not a myth. And no, it's not just luck either. There's a reason this particular penny is turning ordinary folks into millionaires overnight. But here's the catch. There are millions of 1979 pennies in circulation. Only a handful are worth this much. How do you tell the difference? That's exactly what we're diving into today, so grab your coffee and maybe a magnifying glass. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to tell if you're holding a goldmine. And one more thing before we jump in. Whatever you do, don't clean your coin. We'll explain why soon. Let's rewind to 1979. Gasoline was under $1. The Walkman had just launched, and the U.S. Mint in Denver was punching out millions of Lincoln Memorial cents like clockwork. But amidst the chaos, a few errors slipped through. And in the world of coin collecting, a mistake can be worth a fortune. Here's what makes the 1979 D Lincoln penny so valuable. First, the mint mark mystery. The D under the year means it was minted in Denver. But in rare cases, coins from that year show signs of double die errors, misaligned strikes, or even the wrong composition. One famous example: a copper penny struck with a zinc planchet, creating a rare hybrid worth hundreds of thousands. When was the last time you flipped a penny over and looked at the Lincoln Memorial? Exactly. Nobody does. But that's where the secrets often hide. Collectors have found 1979 D pennies where Lincoln's statue inside the memorial is barely visible or completely missing. Others found doubled letters in Liberty or I in God We Trust, indicators of minting errors that drive up value astronomically. Some 1979 D pennies were mistakenly struck with older dies, meaning The die itself had wear and tear, leaving behind ghost-like impressions on the coin's surface. These quirks? They're worth a lot more than their weight in copper. Now, let's talk numbers. A flawless, mint condition 1979 D penny with a double die or off-metal strike can fetch up to $879,000 at auction. And yes, this has actually happened. Collectors and dealers are actively buying these rare pennies right now because demand is soaring. So ask yourself, do you know what's in your coin jar? Alright, so how do you cash in on a penny like this? Step 1. Look closely. Use a jeweler's loupe or even your phone camera. Check for doubling, especially on the date, mint mark, and the word Liberty. Step 2. Check the weight. A 1979 penny should weigh 3.11 grams if it's copper. But if it's lighter, around 2.5 grams, you may be holding a transitional error coin, which can be insanely valuable. Step 3. Don't clean the coin. Ever. Even a swipe with a cloth can drop its value by thousands. Collectors want originality, dirt and all. And if you find something promising, get it graded. Professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC will authenticate your penny. Grading not only boosts credibility, it can multiply your payout. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds too good to be true. But ask the guy who sold his 1979 D penny at auction for over $800,000. Ask the retired couple who cashed in theirs and bought a house in Florida mortgage-free. These aren't fairy tales. They're facts. But here's the kicker. The rarest coins are still out there. Lying in boxes. Hiding in drawers. Waiting for someone like you to discover them. So next time you're tempted to skip over a penny, remember what could be hiding beneath that copper finish. It could be your $1,000,000 moment. If this video lit a fire in you to check your coins, you're not alone. Subscribe now for more guides on rare and valuable coins that are turning everyday Americans into overnight millionaires. Drop a comment below if you've got a 1979 D penny. We'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to share this video with a friend who always rolls their eyes when you talk about coins. Let's prove them wrong. Together. Your wealth might just be sitting in your pocket. All you have to do is look. What if I told you that the next time you check your coin jar, you might be sitting on nearly $1,000,000 without even realizing it? There's a rare 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark that just sold for a jaw-dropping $878,000. And here's the kicker. It looks just like any other penny you might have in your drawer. You're probably thinking, how is that even possible? Well, stick around. Because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn exactly what makes this ordinary-looking coin extraordinary. But before we go further, when was the last time you checked your old change? Because while others are tossing pennies into tip jars, some are cashing them in for luxury homes. Who knew Abe Lincoln could make you rich in 2025? Would you rather toss a penny in a fountain or retire early because of it? Cliffhanger to Act 2. Coming up, we'll uncover how a missing mint mark turned a 1-cent coin into a six-figure treasure, and how you can tell if you've got one too. Let's rewind the clock to 1978. The BGs were topping the charts, gas was under $1, and Lincoln pennies were being minted by the millions. But not all pennies are created equal. Most 1978 Lincoln cents came from two places, Denver and Philadelphia. Normally, coins from Denver have a D mark. Those from Philadelphia, no mint mark. And that's where the magic begins. This rare 1978 penny has no mint mark, but here's the twist. While millions were minted in Philly, only a few hundred had this rare die variation that gave it ultra-sharp detailing, flawless copper tone, and a perfect strike. Combine that with mint state preservation, and what you get is a collector's dream. And with rising demand from elite coin buyers, that dream is now a payday nearing $1,000,000. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know if my 1978 penny is the one? Checklist style section, no mint mark below the date, crisp edges and fully defined Lincoln features, a flawless or near-flawless copper tone. No signs of wear or corrosion. Coin should be uncirculated or in mint state condition. Graded MS65 or above, and no, sorry. If it's been stuck to the bottom of your car's cup holder since 1983, it's probably not worth $878K. But if it's been tucked away in a coin folder, untouched for decades, you might just be holding a fortune. These coins are rare, and as awareness grows, prices are soaring. Collectors are scrambling. Auctions are heating up, and coins that once gathered dust are now changing lives. Cliffhanger to Act 3. In just a moment, I'll reveal how one man turned his old childhood coin collection into a luxury Florida beach house, just because of a 1978 penny like this. Meet James, retired school teacher from Ohio. He found his 1978 penny in an old drawer filled with his dad's coins. Sent it off for grading. It came back MS66 red. Weeks later, it sold at a private auction for $878,000. Today, he's living oceanfront, and that 1 cent? It literally bought him a new life. Emotional trigger: fear of missing out. You don't want to be the person who had one and never checked. Because while others are cashing in, you could be leaving 6 figures on the table. So here's what you need to do next. Go through your old coins. Look for the 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, perfect copper tone, and crisp features. Get it professionally graded. Don't clean it, don't tamper with it. Then, get it appraised. If you're not sure where to start, don't worry. Subscribe to this channel. We cover real strategies, expert tips, and weekly spotlights on coins worth thousands or even millions of dollars. Because let's be honest, finding a rare coin beats trying to win the lottery or investing in your neighbor's sketchy crypto scheme. That old penny could be your golden ticket, but only if you know what to look for and what to do next. So check your change, cash in smart, and start building the wealthy lifestyle you deserve, one coin at a time. Subscribe now. Your $1 million penny might be closer than you think. What if I told you that a single penny, one you might have forgotten in your junk drawer, could be worth $872,000? Pause. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent. No mint mark. Dated 1972. And today it could change your financial future. Now ask yourself this: have you checked your old coins lately? Because while you're watching this, someone just sold one of these rare pennies and is now living a very different life. Still think all pennies are worthless? Today we're diving into the hidden world of the 1972 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial Cent, a coin that's turning ordinary people into millionaires. So stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, how to sell it, and why time is running out. Let's begin your journey to wealth, 1 cent at a time. It's just a penny, but this one holds secrets. The 1972 Lincoln Memorial Cent without a mint mark was struck in Philadelphia. Now normally that's not unusual. Philly coins didn't carry a mint mark back then. But here's where it gets fascinating. Most of these pennies were mass-produced. Billions, in fact. But among them, a tiny batch was struck with unusual precision, rare doubling effects, and flawless copper quality. And these are the ones collectors are fighting over today. One of these pristine coins recently sold at auction for $872,000. And it wasn't just because of the year or condition. It's because of a dramatic minting error so rare, it's practically a 1 in a billion event. So how do you know if your 1972 penny is the golden ticket? Here's what to check. Look for no mint mark below the date. Inspect Lincoln's face and the word Liberty. If it looks doubled, that's your first clue. On the reverse side, check for deep crisp lines in the Lincoln Memorial and clean striking. And finally, condition matters. Uncirculated or proof-like quality can explode the value. Quick pattern interrupt. Ever squinted at a coin so long you start questioning reality? Yeah, me too. But that's what it takes to find a fortune hiding in plain sight. Now, why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a penny? Simple. Rarity, demand, legacy. Collectors, especially wealthy ones, compete for historical perfection. A flawless 1972 penny with dramatic doubling is like the holy grail of modern cents. There are only a handful in existence. The value keeps rising, and every year the available coins get rarer. Quick reality check. Think about this. Someone just paid more for a penny than a brand new Rolls-Royce. Yeah, let that sink in. Let me tell you a quick story that a man from Ohio, retired, humble, loved gardening, was cleaning out a shoebox of his late father's belongings. Inside was a roll of old pennies. Nothing fancy, or so he thought. He noticed one with an odd shine and a slight doubling. Turns out it was the rare 1972 no mint mark DDO penny. He sold it for over 6 figures. Today he's debt-free, took his wife on a cruise, bought his granddaughter her first car, and all because he didn't throw that box away. Makes you want to check your drawers now, doesn't it? But here's the scary part. Most people never even realize they own one. They toss them in Coinstar machines. Or worse, throw them away. That's like shredding a winning lottery ticket. And here's the twist. Some 1972 pennies with small errors look almost normal to the untrained eye. Meaning you could be staring at your ticket to wealth and not even know it. So how do you avoid missing out? Let's break it down. Here's what to do right now. Grab a magnifying glass or your phone's zoom feature. Look at every 1972 penny you own. Compare it to online reference images of the 1972 DDO, double die obverse. If you suspect you have one, do not clean it. Cleaning lowers the value. Take it to a certified coin appraiser or send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. And here's a pro tip. Some eBay listings for these coins go up to $200,000 to $800,000, depending on the grade. Always get a second opinion before you sell. Now, you might be thinking, I'll check later. But let me be honest. Every day, more of these rare pennies are discovered, graded, and locked away in private collections. The clock is ticking. The window to cash in while the hype is high. It's closing. Fast. Think of it like real estate. Once the neighborhood gets popular, the deals disappear. Same with rare coins. Imagine explaining to your grandkids that you could have been a millionaire, but you were too busy scrolling TikTok to check a penny. Now that's a horror story, so let me ask you, what's stopping you from checking right now? Seriously, pause this video. Go dig up your old coin jar. I'll wait. If you found this video eye-opening, imagine what you'll learn next. We cover the rarest, most valuable coins in America and how they can fund your next chapter in life, so don't miss your shot at financial freedom. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay tuned. Because tomorrow, we're revealing another penny that's worth even more than this one. And who knows? Maybe that one's in your pocket too. Imagine stumbling upon a single penny in your junk drawer, and that tiny, copper-colored coin is worth over $870,000. It sounds like a fantasy, right? But what if I told you that it's very real, and people just like you are holding on to one of the most valuable pennies in American history, without even knowing it? We're talking about the 1970 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark, a coin so deceptively ordinary, yet it's flipping the world of coin collecting upside down. Now pause for a moment. Ask yourself this: have I ever checked the date and mint mark on my pennies? If your answer is no, this video might just change your financial future. So, before you toss that jar of change or sell your old collection for pennies on the dollar, stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll not only know how to spot the rare 1970 D Lincoln cent, but also how one coin can unlock the kind of wealth most people only dream about. And no, this isn't about luck. It's about knowledge. And you're about to gain some. Let's dive in. The year is 1970. America is deep in cultural change, war protests, bell-bottoms, and gas at 36 cents per gallon. While the world was changing, the U.S. Mint in Denver was quietly striking millions of pennies. Among them, a few mysterious outliers, Lincoln memorial cents that were minted with imperfections so rare, coin experts call them ghost strikes. These errors transformed an ordinary 1-cent coin into a jackpot for collectors. Now you might be thinking, how could a penny possibly be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Here's where it gets fascinating. The 1970 D Lincoln penny has a few versions, but the one worth up to $870,000 is often a proof coin mistakenly struck on a business strike planchet, or it contains a double die, where the image or letters look slightly duplicated. This error is so subtle it can hide in plain sight. The doubling appears in the words "liberty" and "in God we trust." Even the date may have an eerie shadow, giving it away. Don't worry, I know what you're thinking. I don't have a magnifying glass or a PhD in coinology. Well, you don't need one. You just need to know what to look for, and more importantly, what to do next if you find one. Here's a humorous thought. You might have already tipped a barista with a 6-figure penny. Think about that the next time they get your name wrong on the cup. Let that one sink in. And here's another surprise: these coins aren't just hiding in museums or elite collections. They've been found in garage sales, estate boxes, even sock drawers. One man in Ohio found his tucked in an old coffee tin and nearly mistook it for trash. That nearly $900,000 trashed. So, how can you find out if you're holding one of these rare 1970 D Lincoln pennies? Check the date. 1970. Look for the D mint mark just below the date. Examine the lettering and date for any doubling or misalignment. Pay close attention to the quality of the strike. Is it unusually sharp? Now here's your cliffhanger. Even if your coin doesn't look valuable, it still might be. Some of the highest value coins were misidentified by amateurs and later authenticated by professionals, turning a 1-cent coin into a once-in-a-lifetime payday. So before you write it off, get it professionally appraised. Reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC can confirm the authenticity and rarity. And remember, collectors are out there actively hunting. The demand is real and the time to act is now, because the longer you wait, the more opportunities slip away. Let me end with this. Every wealthy person you've ever admired has one thing in common: they knew something others didn't. Today, you know something most people don't. So don't let this knowledge go to waste. Go through your coin jars. Ask your parents about old collections. Visit that box in the attic that hasn't been opened since the 80s, because one penny, just one, could change your life. If this video sparked a new sense of curiosity or excitement, do yourself a favor. Subscribe now for more rare coin tips, strategies, and insider secrets. Turn your pocket change into a wealth-building journey. Your million-dollar moment might just be one penny away. Imagine waking up one morning, grabbing your coffee, and deciding to finally clean out that old drawer you've been ignoring for years. You shuffle through paper clips, receipts, and then, there it is, a small copper coin, a 1969 VDB Lincoln Memorial penny. Looks ordinary, right? Now imagine that tiny coin is worth over $869,000. Yes, you heard that right. That unassuming penny in your pocket change might be hiding the kind of wealth most people only dream of. So here's the million-dollar question. Literally. You have a 1969 VDB penny sitting in your house right now. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to identify it, what makes it so incredibly valuable, and how people just like you are cashing in on forgotten fortune. Quick warning, the window to sell these coins at their peak value is closing fast. Let's dive in. The 1969 VDB Lincoln Memorial penny looks just like every other penny, but its value lies in one key detail, and we'll get to that in just a moment. First, a little backstory point. 1969 was a year of revolution, moon landings, and social change. But in the world of U.S. coinage, something else happened, something quietly historic. The Denver Mint, marked by the tiny letter D below Lincoln's portrait, struck millions of pennies that year. Most were worth, well, 1 cent, but a few rare versions slipped through the cracks. These weren't ordinary coins. They were double-die errors, freak occurrences in the minting process that created coins with slightly blurred or doubled images. Think of it like a coin version of a printing glitch, only way more valuable. And here's where it gets exciting. Some of these double dies weren't supposed to exist in Denver minted pennies, but they did, and that mistake made them gold mines in disguise. Pattern interrupt. Let me ask you something. Have you ever thrown a coin on the sidewalk just to lighten your pockets? Yeah, you might have tossed away your ticket to a mansion. Now back to the penny. The rare 1969 VDB double die penny has clear doubling in the words liberty and in God we trust. Not a blurry optical illusion, we're talking strong, bold, unmistakable doubling. If you see this with your own eyes, do not spend that coin. In fact, stop everything and get it professionally graded. One of these rare pennies sold for over $869,000 in a private auction. That's nearly $1 million for a penny someone probably thought was pocket change. Cliffhanger, but here's the twist. Not all double dies are valuable. And not all coins with the D mint mark are rare. So how can you tell if your coin is the jackpot? Stick with me because we're about to break it down step by step. Now, let's get serious. You find a 1969 VDB penny. It looks old, worn, maybe a bit dusty. That's okay. The magic isn't in the shine. It's in the details. So here's what you do. Step 1. Grab a magnifying glass or zoom lens. Examine liberty and in God we trust. See any clear doubling of the letters. If you're unsure, compare it with another penny from a different year. The difference should jump out. Step 2. Flip the coin over. Check the Lincoln Memorial for doubling, especially on the columns and the word 1 cent. Any doubling here could increase its value even more. Now comes the critical step. Get your coin graded. Don't just post it on eBay and hope for the best. Use professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify your coin's authenticity and condition, which determines its true market value. A penny in top shape, what collectors call mint state, can demand hundreds of thousands, more than one with scratches or wear. Humorous reset, and no, cleaning it with toothpaste won't help. In fact, that could drop its value faster than a coin dropped down a storm drain. Now picture this. You confirm it's a real 1969D double die. It's been professionally graded. And the offers start rolling in. You're not just holding a penny anymore. You're holding leverage, security, and potentially your next big financial move. People across the country are selling coins like this to fund retirements, start businesses, or finally buy that lake house they always wanted. And here's the powerful truth: you don't need to be a coin expert. You just need to know what to look for, take action, and not let that opportunity slip through your fingers. Because here's what's happening. As more of these coins are discovered and sold, their rarity drops. And when rarity drops, so does value. So if you've got an old penny jar, a forgotten piggy bank, or a box of coins in the attic passed down from grandpa, check every single coin, especially the 1969D Lincoln Memorial penny. Every great story starts with a single moment of realization. This could be yours. A coin you've walked past 1,000 times might be your chance to rewrite your financial future. If you learned something new today, or if you're now racing to grab your coin collection, you're not alone. Subscribe for more insights, tips, and hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. We cover coins that could change your life, 1 cent at a time. And remember, in the world of rare coins, the difference between rich and broke could be sitting in your junk drawer right now. So, what are you waiting for? Go check. We'll see you in the next video. What if I told you that a single penny, a tiny copper coin from 1962, could be worth over $862,000 right now? Not a joke, not a scam, not a fantasy. This exact coin could be buried in your junk drawer, resting inside an old coffee can in your garage, or even lying unnoticed in your pocket change bowl. And if it has one tiny mark, a D for Denver, and just a few rare features, congratulations. You may already be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the thing. This isn't about blind luck. This is about knowledge, timing, and knowing exactly what to look for before the opportunity slips away forever. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, we're diving into one of the most extraordinary stories in American coin history. And by the end, you'll know exactly how to identify the 1962D Lincoln penny that collectors are fighting to get their hands on. But let's rewind, because this story starts long before six-figure price tags ever entered the picture. The 1962 Lincoln Memorial cent wasn't just pocket change. It was part of a legacy. Picture this: America in the early 60s. Kennedy had just taken office. The Beatles hadn't hit U.S. soil yet. And the penny in your hand? Still made of 95% copper. The Denver Mint cranked out millions of these 1-cent coins. Over 1.7 billion to be exact. But as with any mass production, mistakes happen. Some 1962D pennies were struck with double dies. Others had off-center impressions, repunched mint marks, or even planchet errors where the metal was slightly flawed. These subtle anomalies, invisible to the untrained eye, turned an ordinary coin into an extraordinary one. And that's where the goldmine lies. Now imagine finding a 1962D penny with a rare doubling on Lincoln's profile, or one where the D mint mark appears twice, slightly misaligned. One of these exact coins sold for $862,000 at a private auction. Let that sink in. A coin once worth a single cent, now commanding more than many people's homes. Makes you want to go digging through your drawers, doesn't it? But wait, before you do, let's talk about how you can spot one. So how can you tell if your 1962D penny is worth life-changing money? First, look for the mint mark. It must have a clear, visible D under the year 1962. Next, inspect Lincoln's face and the words, "In God We Trust," under magnification. If you notice any doubling, especially in the letters or date, that's a red flag for rarity. Third, check the coin's condition. Coins graded MS-65 and above, those in mint state with no visible wear, fetch far higher prices. And if it has a red luster, you're really onto something. But here's the kicker. These valuable coins are vanishing. Collectors are snapping them up. Auction houses are locking them away in private collections. And every day, someone unknowingly spends one at the grocery store, sealing its fate as just another penny in circulation. Don't be that person. Now, quick question. When's the last time you checked your childhood coin jar? Or that random box of old stuff in your attic? Yeah, that one dot, go check it. Today. Because every minute you wait, the window of opportunity closes just a little bit more. But before you run off, here's your cliffhanger. In our next video, I'll reveal another Lincoln penny that looks almost identical to the 1962D, but has sold for over $1.2 million. And most collectors have no idea it even exists. You won't want to miss that. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button right now, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with someone who might be unknowingly sitting on a fortune. Your dream lifestyle might just be a copper coin away. And remember, sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest value.